Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome to another episode of Bhagavatam Bites. And I'd like to begin, although you're not supposed to begin things with an apology, but I would like to apologize for the fact that we missed Monday, I think it was, right? Yeah, so we were on the road traveling from Montreal back to New York after a wonderful weekend spent with devotees in Montreal for a Zone 1 Canadian Leaders Meeting, and we were able to present the topic of devotee care, which was really great, and spend time with some wonderful Vaishnavas. It snowed, it sleeted, it hailed, it rained, and we rolled out on Monday, and it was pouring down rain most of the way back. So we weren't able to really stop and do a reading, so please forgive us, our apologies, but here we are doing a reading today to make up for it.
Canto for chapter 27, text 15.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Right, text 15. When King Gandhara Raja Chandavega and his followers began to plunder the city of Paranjam, a snake with 5 hoods began to defend the city. Purport. When one is sleeping, the life air remains active in different dreams. The 5 hoods of the snake indicate that the life air is surrounded by 5 kinds of air, known as prana, apana, vyana, udana, and samana. When the body is inactive, the prana or the life air is active. Up to the age of 50, one can actively work for sense gratification. But after the 50th year, one's energy decreases. Although one can with great strain work for 2 or 3 more years, perhaps up to the 55th year. Thus, the 55th year is generally taken by government regulations as the final year for retirement.
Not in the West, Prabhupada. Maybe back then it might have been.
The energy which is fatigued after 50 years is figuratively described herein as a serpent with 5 hoods. Interesting. It's true though, isn't it? It's no fun getting old. And energy is definitely an issue.
Yeah, this definitely all makes sense. I'm not quite 55 yet, but heading in that direction, and I realized, just cannot do the things I used to do. It's try. But then at the same time, if you see someone like Srila Prabhupada, he was able to just keep going non-stop for so many years, because he wasn't, of course, this is talking about someone who's trying to enjoy, sense gratification. So Prabhupada wasn't doing, he was trying to please Krishna. Something like that. And I think I've mentioned before that these 5 life airs, prana, apana, vyana, udana, and samana, these are the life airs. Actually, when you do the first grain ceremony, the Annaprasana ceremony for a 6-month-old baby, then actually you offer a tiny spoonful, and each of the mantras is to kind of settle each of the 5 life airs, and which is quite interesting, because most people kind of take it like, oh yeah, you're just feeding some grains. But actually, it's meant to be for health, it's meant to be for balance, it's meant to give sustenance to the child, so like that. Text 16. The 5-hooded serpent, the superintendent, and protector of the city of King Puranjan, fought with the Gandharvas for 100 years. He fought alone with all of them, although they numbered 720. The 360 days and 360 nights combined to become 720 soldiers of Chandavega time. One has to fight these soldiers throughout one's lifespan, beginning with birth and ending with death. The fight is called the struggle for existence. Despite this struggle, however, the living entity does not die, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 2:20. The living entity is eternal. Nijayate mriyate va kadachin nayambhutva bhavita vanabhuyaha ajo nicha shashvato yam parano nahanyate hanyamane sharide. For the soul there is never birth nor death, nor having once been does he ever cease to be. He is unborn, eternal, ever existing, undying, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Actually, the living entity does not take birth, nor does he die, but he has to fight with the stringent laws of material nature throughout the entire span of his lifetime. He must also face different kinds of miserable conditions. Despite all this, the living entity, due to illusion, thinks that he is well situated in sense gratification. So, Prabhupada honing in on the eternal nature of the living entity, and how although through life we're perpetually fighting with day and night, which is interesting. It's basically just time taking its toll on us, the passage of time, and 720 soldiers of time, 360 days, 360 nights, the number 360 again. I don't know if anyone replied and came up with any information, and I haven't had a chance to look it up, but yeah. So the living entity, due to illusion, thinks that he is well situated in sense gratification. Isn't it just the truth that sometimes we just think that everything is great? What is it? It's just reminded me of the story Prabhupada tells of the frog that is in water, and then someone puts fire underneath the water, and the frog's like, "Oh, this feels nice," and he's just like, "Yeah." And because it heats up slowly, he acclimatizes to it and doesn't realize exactly how hot that water has gotten. And then basically he just kind of boils alive. Yeah, there was some weird statement that they were using this weekend that they said Prabhupada used, which is to fry a fish in its own oil. Yeah, I've never heard that. Prabhupada will probably, say it in the next paragraph, in the next purport or something. But I haven't ever heard that, and I don't think it's a very suitable thing. But basically, we'll make progress. It's kind of, I think, kind of like using a thorn to remove a thorn. You make progress on your own steam, sort of thing. You move forward on your own merit, kind of thing. Anyhow.
Alright, text 17. Because he had to fight alone with so many soldiers, all of whom were great warriors, the serpent with 5 hoods became very weak. Seeing that his most intimate friend was weakening, King Puranjan and his friends and citizens living within the city all became very anxious. Purport. The living entity resides within the body and struggles for existence with the limbs of the body, which are referred to here as citizens and friends. One can struggle alone with many soldiers for some time, but not for all time. The living entity within the body can struggle up to the limit of 100 years with good luck, but after that it is not possible to prolong the struggle. Thus, the living entity submits and falls victim. In this regard, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung Vrida Kala Oila Saba Shuka Bagala. When one becomes old, it becomes impossible to enjoy material happiness. Generally, people think that religion and piety come at the end of life. And at this time one generally becomes meditative and takes to some so-called yogic process to relax in the name of meditation. Meditation, however, is simply a farce for those who have enjoyed life in sense gratification. As described in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, meditation, dhyana dharana, is a difficult subject matter that one has to learn from his very youth. To meditate, one must restrain himself from all kinds of sense gratification. Unfortunately, meditation has now become a fashion for those who are overly addicted to sensual things. Such meditation is defeated by the struggle for existence. Sometimes such meditative processes pass for transcendental meditation. King Puranjan, the living entity, being thus victimized by the hard struggle for existence, took to transcendental meditation with his friends and relatives. It's interesting how the Prabhupada refers to the limbs of the body as citizens and friends.
Well, that's the analogy. That's what Narada Muni is. That's the analogy he's making. Prabhupada is just bringing it out. Later, Narada Muni, I think, goes through and says, this is what this is what that is, that was what that was. Because it's an allegorical story, right? So, but yeah. But why did you feel that was...
Okay. That's the point that's getting that. Just continuing the theme that you do start to, like the theme of the verse we started with, the body starts to become less energized and you become fatigued and can't do much. And then, eventually some people will have struggles with their thighs or their knees. Some people's feet start to, it's not so easy. You see them after some time. They're, what's wrong? Yeah, I really struggle to walk, because we have issue with the foot. Some people, arms, whatever, have arthritis, whatever. So I was just thinking, it's like, it's allegorical, metaphorical, but it's like, it's life in the sense that it says here citizens and friends. So friends, citizens, colleagues, whatever, they do let you down. They let you down because that's just life, and people are not so people let you down. They may let you down because they die themselves, so in other words, the limbs are just like become useless. So I just think it's interesting that eventually, as we're walking this path, and whatever path people are walking, it's like, and if you imagine like an image of, my arm just fell off, my leg just came away, this, and eventually it's just like, we still struggle though to keep moving forward, and we're still trying to enjoy, and eventually it's just a hard shell that's left, and there's nowhere else to go, and you're like, you gotta give it up,
Huh.
Yeah, I thought it's quite
Sounds
powerful.
like a Monty Python skit. There's one where, I can't remember, I'm sure some of you out there are British do, but where the soldier gets his arm cut off, and then his leg, and then his other leg, and then his other arm. It's like, anyway.
That sounds gruesome.
Yeah, it's funny. Funny, gruesome.
All right.
Okay. So maybe we'll finish here after that gruesome call of Monty Python. Thank you all very much. Please read Bhagavatam. Please tune in, and Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.